Today we're going to be talking about dividing polynomials. Okay, so this first example, we have some polynomial that's more than one term divided by a monomial. Remember, a monomial is something that is one term. It's really nice and easy when they're one term because I can just say 4x squared divided by 2x minus 18 over 2x, and then we can go through and cancel. 4 and 2 cancel to be a 2 and a 1. X and an x squared cancel to be an x, so I'm left with a 2x minus, I had an 18x here. This is an 18x. So 18 and 2 cancel to be a 1 and a 9. The x's canceled to be a 1 and a 1. So 2x minus 9. Well, you can also look at that like as this. So I have 4x squared minus 18x all over 2x. If I factor out the greatest common factor on the top, which is 2x, we get a 2x squared minus 9 all over 2x. What's really nice and convenient is those cancel. Oh, that shouldn't be a squared there. That should just be an x. Okay, now finding this quotient. I'm going to use the first method that I just taught you. So I'm going to take the 2y squared minus the 3y minus the 9. And I'm going to divide 3y into each one of my terms. Okay, so let's look and see what cancels. 2 and 3, nothing cancels, so that just turns into 2/3. A y and a y squared cancel to be a y on the top. I could also write that as 2y over 3 if I wanted. Hey, that's the same thing, so that's minus 1. The 9 and the 3 cancel to be a 3 and a 1. So we have that as our answer. Okay, so finding this quotient. So I have 2r plus 5 2r squared plus 5r minus 3 divided by an r plus a 3. So I need to first try and factor that. Okay? So as I try and factor that, I'm going to do my factoring work over here to the side. And I do what they call this 5-step method. Take the 2, multiply it to the 3. And then I factor that. Now you've affected this last 3. You've affected the 6, which affects both of those numbers. So I need to divide by what I factored by, what I multiplied by, I should say. 6 over 2 reduces to be an r plus 3. The 2 swings up, any coefficient swings up, any denominator swings up, I should say, and becomes a coefficient. Okay, so going back to our problem, that means this turns into 2r minus 1 times r plus 3 over r plus 3. The r plus 3's cancel, so we have 2r minus 1. Okay. I want to review with you guys long division, because now we're going to be doing long division with polynomials. Okay, so I just want to review this with you so that you remember how to do long division, because that's going to be important. Okay, 7 doesn't go into 2, but 7 goes into 25. 7 goes into 25 3 times. So then I take the 3 times the 7 and I get a 21. I'm going to erase that. Okay. And then remember we subtract. And I get a 4. That 4 should always be less than the 7. Okay, so then I bring down the 6. 4 goes into 46 6 times. 7 times 6 is 42. I subtract. And 46 minus 42, well, that's 44. And that's, again, another 6. I subtract, and I get my 4. So our answer is 366, and then your remainder is 4 over what we divided into. So that's what you have to remember. Okay? Okay. So let's do one with long division now. So we have x minus 2 goes on the outside. Then I have an x squared plus a 7x minus a 15. So what you do is you take this first term divided by that term. Over to this side, we have x squared divided by x. That simplifies to be x. So that goes over my x term. Then I take and I multiply. X times x, that's x squared. X times negative 2 is negative 2x. Now you subtract. X squared minus x squared, well, that's 0. 7 minus a negative 2, that's really adding. And then you bring down the minus 15. Now take the (9x) divided by the x. So I do, change it to green, 9x divided by x. That simplifies to be 9. So I add a 9 on top. Oh, that 9 might be hard for you to see. Hopefully you guys can see that 9. So then I have 9 times x. Well, that's 9x. Oh, that makes my brain hurt. 9 times a negative 2 is a negative 18. So then what we do is we subtract. 9x minus 9, well, that's 0. 15 minus a negative 18 is going to be, because it's negative 15. Negative 15 minus a negative 18, that's what's wrong, ends up being a 3. So this is my remainder. Once you get to a number, that's where your remainder is. That green is making my head hurt. So let's do this in blue. So your answer is x plus 9 plus, what's my remainder? My remainder was 3 over x minus 2. Okay, another example. I promise I won't use that green again. Oh, that makes my brain hurt. Hopefully your brains aren't hurting from that. So, notice I have an x to the third. I don't have an x squared term, so I need a placeholder. So that I get to every single term in my polynomial. Okay, so over to the side, I do x third divided by x. That simplifies to an x squared. That goes above my x squared. X squared times x to the third. X squared times 5 is a negative 5x squared. Now we subtract. What you can do is you can change all the signs. What I typically do is I multiply by a negative and then I add. But I'm going to subtract. X cubed minus x cubed is 0. 0 minus a negative 5 is 5x squared. I bring down my 34. So then I do 5x squared divided by x. That simplifies to be a 5x. So I have a 5x up top. 5x times x. 5x squared minus 25x. So I have a negative 34. Because remember, I'm subtracting here. So 5x squared minus 5x squared, that's 0. That's what should happen. So then we have negative 34 minus a negative 25. That's a negative 9x. And we bring down the 45. So negative 9x divided by x. That simplifies to be a negative 9. So a minus 9 up top. 9 times x is a negative 9x. Negative 9 times by a negative 5, well, that's a plus 45. So we get, when we subtract, we get 0 there, which that's kind of nice. So what's my answer? My answer is x squared plus 5x minus 9. And that's my video on dividing polynomials.